Hello, everyone. Welcome
Hello.
to the
Hello,
second
hello.
project where we are reading great horror novels from the 70s. And today's book is now, I don't have it queued up on my Kindle. So if either one of you have the book, hold it up.
Mine's on my phone.
Kindle, sorry.
Okay, we're all doing Kindles here because the book's kind of hard to find in print. But we read The Manitou by Graham Masterton. He is a very famous and popular horror writer, and this was his first book.
Mm-hmm.
And what's
That's-
interesting is he's a British guy writing a book about New York City and
What of that? What of that?
the evil Native Americans that inhabited it before. So I've read this book before.
Mhm.
There is something about this book that just really sort of amuses, and maybe it's the main character.
Yes.
So let's go around and give our opinions of the book, and then start going into details.
Anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise.
Anti-walk clock. Okay, MJ, you get to go
I get to
first.
go first? Okay. So going into, I kind of remember seeing the movie, or at least an advertisement for the movie when I was little. So I had an idea as to what the book was about. So, like Greg said, it's really difficult to find, but the app formerly known as Scribd, that's called Everand, has a digital copy. So I had to read it off of my phone, which is a pain in the butt, but it had everything there.
Mhm.
So for me, on surface level, I enjoyed the book. I enjoyed the character of Harry and his arc.
Mhm.
I enjoyed I'm gonna say how the book opened was a little bit on I'm gonna say it was more gripping than not. And I wanted to keep turning the page. But really for me, Harry was the fuel for me to keep going because I wanted to see how this was all going to play out and how he was going to handle the different situations that he was in.
Yeah.
There's also some issues with the book, and I'm sure we'll get into that.
Well, time really, yeah, I know, but
Yeah. Politically incorrect.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it as an escapist read, as something different, and that's basically it.
Yeah. I thought it was just pulpy, fun 70s, good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to say that it's not my favorite Graham Masterton. I think I've read about 7 of his, and it's probably down at the bottom somewhere. But then again, it's his debut novel, so it's his first novel. Maybe he's ironing out a few things, even though it was very popular back then.
Mhm.
And when I say pulpy, I didn't find it particularly tense. I think that was my problem. I really enjoyed it. I loved the horror set pieces, some of the body horror, and some of the nasty scenes, which is so over the top. This book is so over the top and ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. But it didn't have the kind of build of tension that I found from what was the first one that we read? There was a 5-star for me straight away.
Burnt
That's the third, right?
Offerings, then Gwen and Green.
Yeah, that's one of my books of the year, to be honest. I like that slow build-up of suspense and tension and kind of psychological horror almost. And this didn't really have any of that.
It's really
This was just silly fun, really, to be honest.
Burnt
But
Offerings and Gwen and Green really sort of meshed well together. They complemented, and Manitou is like a totally different kind of book.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
it is.
as I said, it's I can see Graham Masterton chuckling as he was writing this book.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I guess you could say there are scenes when Harry is dressed up in. Now, we should probably explain that Harry is a psychic.
Basically,
He's
Totally
fake.
a bit of a grifter, maybe.
He admits it right about. I'm here to bilk old ladies of money.
Yeah.
And I am just going, go, Harry. You get those old ladies' money. But ultimately, he's a very good guy because you know, he says, you know, these old ladies don't need their money that much, you know. I don't rob them too hard. And
can I just say also his character arc though was something special, because he goes from this like charlatan, robbing old ladies of money, dressing up and tarot cards, to the freaking hero of the book. He really is the hero of the book, and everyone's rooting for him at the end. You know? And so he's going from this kind of liar, deceptive person, and he actually is a likable character. He becomes the hero, but it's kind of to believe that is quite a stretch, you know, from going from someone like that to, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that. I mean, he always knew he was living on the edge, and you know, he comes in and he has a chance to prove himself as just not being one of those guys that just, like I said, bilking old ladies. And
I would call Harry an unlikely hero.
Okay, that's a good way.
I think that's a good way to phrase it. Now, I just have to preface, this is my only Graham Masterton that I've ever read. So I have nothing to compare it to.
Okay.
There are a lot of really creepy good books out there.
Yeah, I have a few on Kindle, but I haven't gotten around.
Let's save that. We'll have some recommendations.
Okay.
And I'm going to recommend one. And Cliff, you'll just have to make sure your wife's ears are closed when I recommend one of mine.
No, she's not watching this because she wants to read everything by Graham Masterton, and this is one she has not read.
Okay.
And this is a spoiler. This is a spoiler review. So
very much a spoiler show.
I told her not to watch the show. Yeah. Go on with your recommendation.
My favorite is one called Feast.
Okay.
Sometimes called Ritual.
Oh. Yeah.
No, this is the one about self-cannibalism.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a cult.
Oh.
And to join the cult, you have to eat your own body parts.
Your own?
Your own body parts.
Oh my gosh. How does that even happen?
Under the title Ritual, it's available on Kindle Unlimited. So
okay.
If you have it, you can pick it up. But let's go back to Manitou and now there's a couple of things that I really liked about this book that I thought that Graham Masterton really nailed it. What's the woman's name again? The one with the growth on the side of her neck.
Remember
the character's name? I'm drawing a blank of the
character.
Susanna or no?
Karen, I think.
Oh, Karen, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Well, she goes in, and the doctors, of course, are X-raying this lump, you know, like doctors do.
Mm-hmm.
And Graham Masterton figured, well, you know, you're not supposed to X-ray fetuses because it's really damaging to a fetus.
Right.
But they didn't know it then.
What? They didn't know. But he put that in the science that, you know, the old medicine man, Mick, I can't pronounce that.
I know. We'll call him M.
We'll call him M. Of course, so he comes out.
Just not MJ.
He comes out deformed. And I kind of like that because he's showing the old world and the new world, and then using the police computer's Manitou to finally defeat him.
Oh, I'm sorry, I've got to say something there. For me, that was just a kind of a little stretch too far.
Why?
And one thing Graham Masterton does in his books is you need a suspension of disbelief in his books. If you read his books, there's a suspension of disbelief in it. But when I read that the supercomputer was going to defeat the evil, I was kind of, okay, this is fun, but I'm just going like, just wow.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Well, Cliff, in the Native American mythology, everything has a Manitou.
Yes.
Including technology.
This sack has a Manitou. Now, the sack Manitou, not very powerful.
Yeah.
So
Just bring out your cell phone, bring out your supercomputer.
yeah, but in this idea is that there's this new technology that wasn't around, but it also would have a Manitou. And because it's so large, it's much more powerful than a sack. And what's this Indian who's never encountered this spirit? He's encountered all these spirits before, but this is a new one. He literally did not know how to fight it.
Yeah.
And that's how he got defeated. And that's what I liked about that, because he was thinking the old world and the new world and trying to mesh them together into a story.
Yeah, you got a point there. No, you got a good point. It's not that I didn't enjoy the ending. I just raised my eyebrows a bit and thinking, okay, what's going on here? He's giving a supercomputer the spirit, man. I hear your point there. But you have to admit, it was a little bit of like, yeah, very creative, very imaginative way of finishing the book.
And this was published when again?
1974.
So that's pretty, that's pretty cutting edge for thinking ahead about what computers and technology would look like.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just had to throw it out there. I just found it.
Well, I'm not a very spiritual guy in real life, but if you have to accept their beliefs that this would be part of it. And if you accept their beliefs, you have to accept the consequences and follow it down that logical line.
Right. Yeah. And also, is the evil truly defeated?
Well,
there's a Manitou sequel.
It kind of, even in the hint of this book, it says he may not be dead.
Yeah.
Because you're not really defeating the Manitou. Now, I'm going to say that his sequels don't hold up. I think it's one of those cases where, he's a horror author. He's written a couple books. It's like, what am I doing next? Oh, I'll just do a sequel to the Manitou.
Yeah.
Which is it. A couple years later, I'll do another sequel to the sequel. And he just goes on. I mean, because after a time, a writer like that is just good at writing books. And they lack the creativity of this book, the originality of the book. They feel like he has a contract to fill.
Yeah.
I have to write a book this year. This is what I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah. I still think he got a lot better as a writer as he is went by.
Most writers, or a lot. Well, there's two kind of writers. Yeah. There are some writers whose first book is their best, and they never live up to it. And then there are authors who grow with each book.
Yeah. Well, I think Stephen King is a good example of that. I'm not crazy about Carrie. And some of his earlier stuff, and even his earlier short story collections like Night Shift, even everyone raves about it, but I think he gets better. The Skeleton Crew. I think he gets better. He gets more refined, more polished. And I think the same about Masterton. I mean, I would recommend Mirror. Mirror is brilliant. And I would recommend The Devils of D-Day. Very, very tense. Very good book. So, yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to say hi to a few people in the chat room. Hey, Dave. I literally finished this show.
You should hop on, Dave.
Yeah, Dave, if you want to join in a comment, leave something. I can send you a link. Happy to have you. And we've got Bad is here. She read this book earlier in the year. She was thinking about showing up, but I think today is her husband's birthday, and got to go out and do the same with the hubby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ending of the movie is different from the book. I prefer the ending of the movie. I saw the movie when it was released in the theaters or shortly afterwards. So don't ask me to remember how the movie ended.
Never seen the movie.
No. I didn't know there was a movie. It has Tony Curtis as Harry.
Yes.
And birthday weekend for sure.
Yeah. Well, we're glad that you can at least come in and say a little bit in the chat room,
cheesy movie, but very fun. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah. I didn't look it up myself, but
I'll look it up while we're talking.
all right. So as we said before earlier, that parts of this book may not have
Aged very well.
aged very well. Hold on for 1 second. Dave says he can come in. So let me there we go. It's not private, but we only got 3 people watching. I'm not too worried about popping in. So
It's going to go viral, Greg. It's going to go viral.
it's going to go viral. I'm going to get someone who wants to log in, and they're going to show us things we're not supposed to see, right?
Well, you have to. They'll only be backstage, so you're in total control.
I'm in total. I think I can boot them off real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So the treatment of Native Americans in this book, I have a couple issues.
Uh-huh.
One earlier, I forgot it was Harry or the Native guy said, like, we really want to communicate with this guy. It's just a misunderstanding. You know, if you just communicate with him right, that he wouldn't be out for his evil ways. Or do you think he was just evil all the way through from the beginning? You know, because the idea was back in 16 whatever, he killed himself, so he reincarnated. Was he evil before the Dutch showed up? Or did the Dutch make him the evil medicine man?
Right.
Oh, someone's gone. We all gone.
Are you there, Clint?
Yeah. No, I think the Dutch basically turned him into what he became.
Yeah.
That's my idea.
Mm-hmm.
And the kind of breaking of the land and all of that. I think Graham Masterton tries to actually, not really succeeding very well, but tries to make the viewer sympathetic, or the person reading kind of sympathetic at the same time towards the plight of the Native Americans. Then again, by calling them not Native Americans, but all those other things,
well, that's the time.
That defeats the purpose, you know.
That was the 70s, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, Native American did not become a regular term. What, the 80s or 90s?
Yeah. I'd say the late 80s.
Late 80s is when it started. Yeah. And so I'm one of those people who say you really can't fault him for using the terminology of the age it was written in.
Right. And also the editor said, sure.
Yeah.
You know, it was published like that.
It was. Now, granted, they may not have cared as much back then.
Right.
You know, they said, oh, that's a marginalized group. You can call them anything you want. We don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there was at least a little bit of sympathy to them from the authorial point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, I mean, you got to read. We're going to be reading a lot of other 70s books, and we're going to come across this time and again. I would imagine. No, this is not going to be the first time we come across this. So it's about you have to know, the reader, that you're reading a book that's a product of its time, and you can't whine and moan about that. Otherwise, don't read a book like that. Read a 90s or kind of modern book. If it's gonna offend you, then don't go there. If you're going to read a book from the 70s, then that's my opinion.
Same thing with Gwen and Green. Gwen and Green, you know, the cringe factor for me was how they were talking about women and mental health issues. You know, it was totally cringeworthy when I was reading it, but that's how they saw it during that time. You know, it wasn't treated as it's treated now.
Right.
Yeah. It's like your husband will make it all better for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else do
Over
we
to
love
you.
about the book?
What was that, MJ?
What else do we love about the book?
The thing is that like Burnt Offerings and Gwen and Green were relatively serious minded. And as I said, Graham Masterton, I think he was laughing in a lot of this book.
Yeah. I mean, it is, the whole thing of it is preposterous. Hi, Dave. Hi,
Hey,
Dave.
Dave and Olive.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Olive didn't put her makeup on either, so.
No, I stick my makeup too, so no problem.
So
Good to see you.
since you're just coming off of the book like today, tell us what your thoughts were.
Yeah, I really liked it actually. I was lucky. I picked this thing up. So I got the paper. I found this in the wild. I found this in the wild.
Wow.
Like that goes for a lot online.
Yeah, I got it for $1.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So I was planning to read it soon because I got it like the end of July at a book fair, and then I saw on Thursday, I saw you guys were going to be talking about this, so I hurried up and read it real fast.
So cool.
Cool. We have influence. We're an influencer.
Oh, I'm glad I did. I liked it. It's my first Graham Masterton book. I got a few over there that I picked up at like fairs and stuff, but that's the first one I've read. And so I don't really know like how good he normally is or how like deep he normally is, but just as a Masterton neophyte, I'm always trying to read stuff into books, but I thought it was like a nice mix. I thought it was a nice mix of just like, ridiculous fun book, but also, exploring some things. And I thought I totally agree with what Cliff was saying about the what was it, Erskine's character arc there. I thought that was pretty cool. Like he's originally a charlatan, and by the end of the thing, he's risking his life for everybody. I thought that was pretty cool development, and I thought I thought the whole dichotomy between there's a lot of dichotomy in this book, right? There's the between Native American Indians and the white settlers, or conflict, I guess, not necessarily, but the dichotomy between the religious magic and technology, and I thought there was a lot of juxtaposition, I guess, going on in this book, I think, and I felt like there was I don't know. I feel like it's not getting enough credit on this live stream. I thought I got some.
I enjoyed it.
I had a good time.
I was saying before you popped on is that a lot of horror books take themselves seriously.
Yeah.
Like the previous two, and again, Graham Masterton was not taking them seriously in this book at all.
Yeah.
And that's a different type of horror book where it's written with a smile, and not he's not trying to be they didn't have the extreme gross out horror as much back in the 70s, but he's just enjoying himself. And that's sort of refreshing to see in a horror story. And Harry, you have to like Harry. I mean, he's just
and the thing that I like the most about Harry, especially in the beginning, is he's honest about it with himself. Once the people leave and the door shut, he's like, well, I'm going to go to the fridge. I'm going to crack open a beer and wait for the next phone call from the next little old lady that's going to put me in her will. Like, he doesn't sugarcoat it. He knows who he is.
Right.
Yeah. It's not only that, he's actually doing a social service in his mind. Yeah. He's helping the women make themselves feel better.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's actually ripping them all their money. Well, he is, but he's
trying to value. I mean, he doesn't. He wants to, it's like you pay your $25, and I'll give you some value for your money.
Yeah, he's an emotional support psychic.
There's definitely lots of drinking and smoking in this book. I feel like every time you turned around, somebody was drinking and smoking.
Weren't they smoking in the hospital as well?
Yeah,
You were
like
able to do
everywhere in the
You were able to do
airport.
that back then.
Yeah.
I have noticed that in all the books that we've been reading, everyone's smoking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I remember when I was little one time being on a plane and
Yes.
my mother getting scolded by the stewardess because you needed to put the cigarette out before takeoff. And that's what she got in trouble for. It was fine to smoke on the plane back then. That was what? Early very early 80s, I guess.
I remember the 80s. I was traveling with my brother somewhere, and he says, we weren't smokers because I like sitting in the back with the smoking section because if the plane goes down, you are more likely to live if you're living in the back. He wanted to sit with the smokers.
Yeah.
There was a smoking section.
Yeah, smoking section of the plane. I think that was still going on like 87, 88, 89 because I remember being on a plane and I was either like graduating high school or going right into college and I'm like realizing that there's still smoking sections, you know.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And now in the workplace, if you're lucky, they might have a little place. I don't know if it's the same in America, but in South Africa, most businesses, they might have a kind of a little space outside somewhere where you can have a smoke. You know,
it's a space
whereas
way
in America,
outside in America.
Yeah, well, like a tiny little cubicle or with a wood, you know, or out in the open. And even then, it's like incredibly frowned upon. Not that I work in big business, just that's what I've heard. Is it the same in America?
You have to be, there's a certain amount of feet that you have to be away. And that's like OSHA regulations. And then there's, you know, all kind of, depending if it's a not residential, but a business or whatever, you know, they have places posted where people can smoke and where they can't smoke. But normally you can't smoke.
Yeah, I heard in some countries they try to ban it outright.
Yeah.
Basically ban smoking. So even in the comfort of your own home, no.
Yeah.
I don't know about, but I did notice when I was in Canada earlier this month, walking around Canada, I saw a lot more smokers in Canada.
Yes.
Than I did.
Canadian.
Yeah.
The French still love smoking. That's one thing I loved about going to Paris. I'm like, people are smoking here because I'm a former smoker. I loved it.
I'm a former smoker too, so
No, I'm a current smoker, so.
Oh, man.
Hey, don't.
No, I missed it. If there were no health issues, I'd be smoking right now.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, you know, in South Africa now, cannabis is legal. You can grow your own plants and smoke. I don't smoke that at all. But is it the same? Is it the same in America?
No.
It's state by state.
State by state.
Oh, it just depends on the state. Okay.
Well,
the federal government does not recognize marijuana as a legal substance. It's all depending on the states.
Okay. Yeah. So go around South Africa, look in the gardens. You might expect to see some interesting flora.
I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, honestly, from smoking some weed and drinking some beers, it's really about the same.
Drugs. I don't do drugs. I tried it as a student. It doesn't work well for me.
Yeah, I drink a fair bit, and I think that's probably worse. So
I actually think that heavy drinking might be worse than smoking a little weed here and there.
Yeah, I think it is. But
so, trying to get back to the Manitou.
But we're having such a great conversation
in this that I really kind of when M summoned with the toad demon and
wasn't it a squid demon? No, it was a squid demon.
A squid something, and the guy said, "You just have to give him a little bit of your body to feed him."
Oh, yeah.
No, it's happening.
And he didn't even hesitate. He was like, "I'll do it," right? Immediately.
I was mixing my demons up there. That was the first one. And then ultimately, it was a squid thing, you know, like the old god sort of.
That was Cthulhu, wasn't it?
Cthulhu, yeah. Cthulhu. Is that pronounced right?
Cthulhu, yeah, close enough.
That middle guy was the one that's like that he was first conjuring up. That's like the middle man between the great old one, and that was like the toadish one.
Yeah.
And
I remember that.
the great old one. Yeah, he has like some kind of squid
Just
tentacle.
feed your little finger. Next minute. What about that guy that gets turned inside out? There was some pretty good body horror there.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that got which one was?
Yeah, that was when the thing on her neck was starting to become a lot more prominent.
Yeah.
It was almost giving birth to that guy.
He was watching over the body.
He killed the one guy by turning him inside out.
Oh, the one nurse. Yeah. It was pretty. It was pretty gross. This one.
It had its moments.
It wasn't super gross. I mean, it's, what you kind of expect from a horror novel.
Yeah.
Was anybody like, itching there while they were reading it?
Feeling for pimples, squeezing out pimples.
Can you imagine waking up with something like that and 2 days later it's like this huge thing? No.
That poor woman. Then the Nazi.
She really did not have a major role in this book.
No, she was the host.
I every time I reread it, it's like I always thought she had a bigger role. In your brain, you thought she's the main character in this book.
Yeah, she's not.
She's not. She's just like you said, the host.
Yeah.
She's out of it.
It was a nightmares, and then she was the host. That's it.
Yeah, you think it's about because of like when you read the back of the book and you look at the picture on the front of the book, it seems like it's about her.
Mm-hmm.
She had such a little. By the way, is this the copy that MJ you read it digitally?
Yes.
So what do you guys have this print copy?
No, I have just the digital from Kindle.
So this is what I haven't seen. This is like a step back, but without the hole. You see this?
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
So that's the same partial picture. If you see, close look, that's her.
That's nice.
That's a really good.
Very cool.
Usually this would be a hole here, right?
Yeah.
I looked at different.
Been done before the trend of cutting the hole and letting it see through. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I looked at different editions, and the one when you open it up, apparently there's an edition of that with the women.
Mm-hmm.
Where there are a lot of very cool editions of the book. I don't know if you look it up, but I'm pretty sure I saw one edition just like that, the inside cover. Yeah, but that is cool.
Mine was boring.
It's $1 well spent.
Oh my God, yes.
I didn't know.
For now.
I don't know.
No, they're going like $40-$50.
I'm gonna look.
I didn't know. I didn't know when I picked it up that it was worth anything. Just grabbing sci-fi and horror paperbacks, and but then somebody commented when I did the book haul video. Somebody commented that I think that's pretty hard to find now.
Yeah, so. You're going anywhere between $25 and $40.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Keep
it secret. Keep it safe.
Take care of that one.
That's right. Put the plastic on it.
Not as good as Sins of the Flesh.
Not as good as Sins of the Flesh, no.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Sins of the Flesh. What's that?
Oh, have you ever seen this, Cliff?
No.
Hold on. This might be
My little corner of the globe. Yeah, I miss out on a lot.
All right, Cliff.
Greg sent me the book for $1.
Well, I got it for $1.
You got it for $1, and I traded. I sent you something else.
You did. When you find something, I had a copy. You just can't make money off of it.
Right.
Okay.
This is perhaps the best step back cover ever.
Okay. I'm looking.
You ready?
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Now you notice. Wait a second.
That's a little window.
Side. Wait, I can't quite point. You've got
little window, and then you see a little hand on the side.
Hand.
Ooh.
Oh, that's so cool!
Wow!
So good.
That is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
It is. I think
Coolest cover I've ever seen
that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
Might be some better, but that's one.
Wow.
Maybe this.
What, you sent that to him, MJ?
I sent it to MJ.
Oh, you sent it to
Greg
MJ.
found a copy, and he's like, I have it. He's like,
Ah.
I'll send it to anybody for $1. And I said, well, I'll trade you a book for it. So I sent him a book, and he sent me that one.
Yeah.
Ah.
I said,
Hey, I might just maybe one day I'll find it somewhere in South Africa.
Is that one worth a lot?
I was lucky. I bought this for like $8.
Okay.
And it's usually, again, like the Manitou, like 20, 40 bucks.
Yeah. I'll Google it and see. Now the copy Greg sent me, it's basically, you know, I wouldn't read it because it's in that kind of condition. I would say it's in fair condition, but I have it for the cover, you know.
It's important. No, I would say poor condition.
All right, give it poor.
But you know something, I got it for $1 and you don't complain.
No.
If I'm gonna buy it on eBay or whatever, or get it imported, how much would it cost me?
I don't know.
Maybe $30, $40 or something stupid. Maybe more.
There's one on there for $32. 32,
And then
29, 30, 51, 40. So you're in the 30s and 40s, I'd say.
Yeah.
And then with shipping to Africa, you probably have to double that.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. That's the way it is.
$32 is for excellent condition.
I found this once in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
I might find it again in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah, you never know. That's almost worth it just for the cover.
Oh, I'm not sure anyone's actually read this.
Yeah.
This cover, I
wouldn't
think
bother.
someone read
I
about.
wouldn't bother. Got the cover, I wouldn't bother, to be honest.
Well, who's the author?
It's a family curse, right?
It's Don Davis and JD. Yeah, it's something about a family curse. I don't know.
No.
Is it available in Kindle?
I don't know.
I don't know. But that cover is just, show us again, Greg, please. I feel like a kid here. Show the cover again.
He wants the experience again.
One more time, please. One more time. That is just gorgeous. Whoever designed that, just
You know, I'm sure the designer had a blast, and the publisher probably said that's expensive.
Yeah.
It was probably their bestseller.
I don't think the book ever sold. Oh, they do have it on Kindle for $9.99. Wait a second. I see a paperback for $12.11.
Well, there you go.
Of Sins of the Flesh?
Sins of the Flesh.
Better hurry up, Cliff.
So that'll only be about $30 sending it here.
Huh. Yeah, there was that one.
It's in very good condition on Amazon.
There was that one I looked up. It was like the type. It was like the first one in Paperbacks from Hell. I forget the name of it now, but it was like it had like the Nazi gnomes and
That's the number one. That's the number one. Yeah.
That's like hundreds of dollars.
The Little People or something like that. Is it called The Little People?
The Little People. Yeah, I think that's the name. Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone on.
Let me
I've gone on Whatnot to try and win that, and some lady had like a stash of horror books. Whatnot is fantastic if you're looking for cheap horror books. The Vintage Viking is on there a lot. He has shows, he sells stuff, and he'll buy stuff too. But it started at like $3, and by the time it was over, it went for $140.
Yeah, that almost sounds cheap.
I know
what I saw.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, it sounded really cool, but
yeah, it's basically just for the cover. It's just for the cover.
Can you explain that to your spouse? I spent $140 on a paperback.
Yes, because we keep our money separate.
I could have done it when we were both working. My wife and I had this plan. He says, if it's under 500, you don't have to ask. But that's when we were both working professionally. You know, it's like, now they're both retired. It's like, well, you got to pay a little more attention, you know, maybe under 200 now.
And it's honestly, it's more fun going to like, you know, a Salvation Army, a charity sale, a charity shop, you know, a library sale, and finding little gems like that.
You know,
That's me. I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And we got one shop close to us. But anytime I travel, I look around for a little secondhand shop.
Yeah.
Thrift shop, anywhere I can find a book, because you never know what you're gonna, find. So
You never know.
You never know. Like you said, I was in Niagara Falls, and they had this little hole in the wall used bookstore, rough neighborhood. And I walked in, all the lights were, there's a cat outside. I walked in, all the lights were off in the store. And I kind of walked in, oh no. And I walked in and he goes, oh brother, hello. The owner was back there. And I guess he keeps the lights off because he doesn't want to pay the electric bill and no one comes in. And then I walked upstairs and their shelves were like buckling under. And I found that book. It was just so great to find that book.
It was the perfect setup.
It was. So I guess nothing beats finding these in the wild at a good price.
No.
Absolutely.
So Dave, will you read Masterton again?
Yeah, I got a couple more over there. It sounds like, just because those were the ones that I found at fairs. It sounds like, according to Cliff, I should be reading Mirror next. So
yeah, well, I've got a list for you. I mean, the Devils of D-Day is very good.
I have Devils of D-Day on Kindle.
Yeah,
it's like $1.99 or something like that. So
and Mirror, and there's another one that I really like. I can't think now.
He has a lot on Kindle Unlimited too.
The other one I have,
a Graham Masterton movie, and then you'll know.
Maybe it's I forget. The other one is maybe I can't see. Night Plague, maybe? Does he have one called Night Plague?
I don't know.
No, not that. I haven't read that one.
I have Charnel House on my Kindle.
Charnel House is pretty fun.
I can't remember if I read that one or not.
I have to see. There's one author that I have books from that I haven't read yet, and I don't know. I don't know who it is. The name escapes me. I have to find it. I thought it was him, but I don't think it is.
All right, these are the other ones. You got to tell me if any of these are worth money. So this is Mirror.
Yeah,
that's one Cliff wants to read.
Ooh, I like that cover.
Yeah.
God, that's a chunk.
That's special. Then I got this one. Burial? Is this a sequel or something?
Yeah, that is the third in the Manitou series.
Is it?
Yes.
That's the third? Okay.
In the Manitou series?
Mm-hmm.
There's 3.
Oh, wow.
Okay. No, there's 4 or 5. There's a lot of shit. Yeah, there's quite a few.
Because I've seen a box set. There's a box set on Kindle where you could get the Manitou series.
So is it the same character? Is Harry in it again?
Harry and the Indian, I forget his name again.
Oh, what's his name? Singing something?
Singing Rock.
Singing
Rock.
Yeah.
He's there. Now what's
in there
is in Burial is that was written like in the 90s or something. And not a huge spoiler, but the Twin Towers bite the dust in that book.
Oh.
So now I'm sure the publishers would not release it again. Or maybe they have, but
yeah, that's called Burial.
That's in Burial,
and that's not this. Is that also the Manitou series?
Yes, you have the third book in your hand.
Oh, this one. Oh, okay.
Silly.
Well, why did you have me on here?
and Harry does show up in some other books, non-Manitou books. And he did something that really some authors do this, and it really makes me mad, is the original Manitou book, was in 1973, and Harry's maybe 30, maybe 25. And this book was written in the early 2000s. Oh, you're going to see Harry in his 50s. He's still 30.
Oh.
But the year is still 2000.
Oh.
Okay.
Same character, locked in time, different decade.
Yes.
Okay.
Ed McBain does that a lot with his 87th precinct.
87th precinct, yeah.
They just never age.
Yeah.
The detectives are always the same age, unless they get killed.
But the technology grows.
Wow. Okay.
Sure.
And then this is the last one I got.
I haven't seen one. I haven't seen one. If you can get hold of Walkers, that's another one.
Mm-hmm.
So
Very good.
I'm assuming Night Plague is about vampires.
Let's see. It's about night warriors have used their awesome powers to defend humanity from evil, entering men's dreams to change the shape of waking reality.
Ooh.
Now 5 modern night warriors face their most terrifying enemy. She is Isabel Gowdy, witch and mistress of Satan. Want me to keep going?
That sounds good.
Right now.
So it's like the Knights Templar going after the Wicked Witch.
Wow.
That's
This looks
almost
pretty good, actually.
That sounds like one of your, what's it, occult detective kind of thing.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Move that up on the list, Dave. You're smiling at that. You got to move that up on the team.
Yeah, that sounds good, doesn't it?
Wait a second, Dave. That is part of a series.
No.
Oh, is it?
It's the
Masterton like have series.
It's hold on. Night Warriors, Death Dream, Night Plague, Night Wars, and the Ninth Nightmare.
I've got Death Dream here somewhere.
I mean, Graham Masterton has so many books.
But I wonder if this might be the first one.
Sounds like a Dream Warrior type situation.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to look. Oh, that's interesting. Now this one, it has the book. It has the books listed in the front, and under the Manitou, it says the Manitou, Revenge of the Manitou, and the Djinn. So is this maybe this is book 4, maybe?
Djinn features Harry but it's not about the Manitou. It's just features Harry.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's the set that they sell on Kindle, I think, those 3.
Maybe the series he held up. The first is on Kindle Unlimited. The Night Warriors.
Okay. Oh, that's number 1.
That's number 1. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he's also written some just standard thrillers. He has one called The Plague.
Okay.
Famine.
What?
Famine.
No, Plague. It was written in the 70s or 80s.
Because he writes an apocalyptic,
It's about like a plague that wipes out the United States. Or nearly does, so.
It's a book called Famine.
There is one called Famine.
About a plague that wipes out the United States.
Okay.
They're probably 2 different books.
I mean, so I've encountered this a number of times where the title in the U.S. is different than the title abroad. So you guys are probably talking about the same book.
That might be it, yeah. Because we get our books mostly from the UK, not the US.
Right.
That's where we get all our books.
I don't know why they do that. They always change, not always, but I mean, a number of times, right? They've changed the UK type, like Chrysalids, right? Over here, it's called Rebirth. I read it as Rebirth.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There was another one recently. It was the same thing. I'm not going to remember it now, but I don't know why they. It was a Burroughs book, an Edgar Rice Burroughs book. 30. I don't remember. It was a standalone. It was one where like the character is like exploring Europe, like way in the future after like the fall of civilization, and the original one was I don't remember. I'm not gonna remember now. But
you know, Dave. Also, they often re-edit books for the United States.
Yeah.
Now, do you all remember the girl, the Dragon Tattoo?
Yes.
Yeah.
I originally read the 2 books in an American edition. And when the 3rd book was coming out, it was published in the UK. and they weren't going to release the American edition for another year. So I went in and bought paperbacks, of all three of the UK. And if you remember that book, there is a scene in the very end.
I'm embarrassed. I haven't read it yet. I've got the entire series on myself.
But in the US version, one of the American characters tosses something into a dumpster. And you look at in the UK version, it's tossed into a wheelie bin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what happened was when they published it in the UK, they had all these UKisms.
All right.
So the American publishers know not for Americans. So they have to re-edit the book for the American audience.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so funny because NPR did an interview about this because everyone like me was going to UK and buying a copy of this book. And the publisher says, technically that's illegal.
Come on.
No, it is because the American publisher has the right to distribute the book in the United States. The UK has the right to distribute the book in the UK. And when you're going to the UK, you are violating the American copyright.
Mm-hmm.
Now he says you're not going to get arrested for this.
Mm-hmm.
But if something were hugely popular like that, theoretically, the customs agents can seize your book.
Now, what about that service that just closed down not too long ago? They were based out of Brooklyn. And if a book came out in the UK first and you were an American and you wanted to get it, you went through this service and there was no extra fees or anything like that, but you would get that book shipped to your house.
Yes, that was the place I went. I forgot the name.
Exchange? Something exchange? No.
Something like that. But the thing is, it's not something that's enforced.
Right.
But the problem is, if the publisher got really mad,
they're making money.
No, the UK's making money.
Yeah.
Not the United States firm is not making money. I mean, again,
as a South African, I'm just sitting here going, okay, this is interesting.
Cliff's sitting there like, I'd just like to be able to get any version of the book.
no, like David's like talking about titles, like they're always changing this stuff.
The covers, yeah.
The covers and the text.
Mm-hmm. I like that sometimes, like if there's a better cover of a UK version, I want that version.
I'm guilty of that. I'll occasionally buy the UK one just because it's covers.
Because it's cooler.
Sometimes they are cooler.
Yeah, sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Hey, so I Googled. I wanted to see if Graham Masterton was still with us. He is. He's only 78.
Really?
Yeah.
He was born right in the Manitou young.
He was born in 1946.
Okay.
So he's 1 year younger than David Bowie. So put that in for reference. Maybe he'll watch this.
He was about Harry's age when he wrote it.
There you go.
The Manitou.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. That's neat. I like that stuff.
Yeah, and he's still pumping them out every year. Comes out with a couple books.
That's awesome.
Huh. Oh, so he's got a lot.
I want to say he's still on Twitter or something. I want to say he's still on there. I'm not sure. The app formerly known as Twitter.
Is he still writing that?
Yeah, Greg said he is. Yeah.
He's publishing at least every a couple of years ago, he's publishing new books. Maybe slow down. I don't know.
That's so cool.
A bit like Stephen King. Stephen King's just speeding up.
Yeah.
Well, how old is Stephen King? He's like 77.
Actually, just turned 76 or 77.
They're really essentially.
I think it was birthday in September. I think.
Yeah, it was Stephen King Day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of Stephen King, because we're getting close to the end, got to plug Salem's Lot.
Mm-hmm. I read that already.
I'm about halfway through.
I am on page of my edition 143. They're just delivering some boxes.
Well,
and they're going like, "Oh, what's in this box?" And I haven't finished the chapter, and I'm going like,
"Now there's
what's in this box."
There's a brand new series on HBO.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about that.
It just came out on Friday, so
I heard a movie that came out, not a series, and I heard that it was not well received.
Yeah, I don't know yet. I think I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not sure.
I don't have HBO, so I can't watch it.
I have it, so I may watch
I've
it.
got DSTV. Have you ever heard of DSTV?
No.
No.
Hey, I've got something you haven't heard of. It's our local South African sort of pay channel thing.
Oh, there you go.
I remember reading this in the early 80s when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I knew what the villain was going into it.
Oh, really?
I mean, it was new. I mean, this book was like 5 years old or something like that. So Stephen King wasn't quite the household name he is now.
Right. Now, did he write the short story first?
Jerusalem's a Lot.
Yeah.
I think that's follow-up.
Did he write that first, or was Salem's Lot first and then he did Jerusalem?
Well, it was Night Shift. So Night Shift was the first short story collection that he released. So I'm not sure which came first.
Well, there's one way to find out.
Go, Greg. I'll always remember watching that movie. My dad.
Wait a second. We're talking step back covers here.
Yeah,
This is another candidate for best step back cover ever.
I have 2 of those.
That's a good one.
Cool.
Yeah,
it is cool.
That's a good one.
So let's take a look at the copyright page. This was 76, so this book definitely came later.
So it probably is more of a prequel.
As I remember that story, it's sort of after Salem's Lot.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I don't think Jerusalem. Here it is, Jerusalem's Lot #1.
Was Salem's Lot after Carrie? Was that the second book?
Yes.
Then it definitely is, because I think Night Shift came after that.
No, Night Shift definitely came a year later. Yeah. I'm looking in the copyright page, and Jerusalem's Lot is not listed in the copyright page.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
But getting back to what I was saying, watching the movie when it was first on television, I just remember that one scene, and y'all know what that one scene is, and just having the bejesus scared out of me. Yeah.
I don't remember that scene.
Oh, when you read it in the book, you will.
Oh, that scared the hell out of me.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm out. I'm not watching anymore, Dad. I'm out.
I'll get to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's good though. Like that Stephen King book that I read, I think Pet Sematary is my favorite that I've read so far. I'd say Salem's Lot is probably my next favorite after that. Because you are just there. You are in it. You know, the last third of the book is when your heart starts racing.
Was that Pet Sematary?
No, for Salem's Lot.
Okay.
Yeah. That takes off. It really takes off.
Yeah, and it's like the first 2/3 of the book is just build up and setting and character development and all of this, and then it's like somebody turns on a light switch and everything starts happening.
Yeah. Right. Like I'm there was a chapter, and it's like the chapter where they're introducing all these characters at a time of day.
Yeah.
And I'm going, okay, which one of these is going to, because he's introducing stuff, they can say terrible can happen to them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, I still haven't read that.
What?
Yeah, well, I have it.
Come on. Come on, Dave.
It's on the list.
Read it. You can join us.
Yeah.
You still have the rest of the month to read it. Yeah.
Oh, you got a discussion on that one coming up too?
Yeah.
That's the book for this month.
End of October, maybe beginning of November, depending on schedules, you know.
Oh, I'll try. I'll see.
It's quick. I mean, It's not. I mean, I'm thinking this is a 600-page book.
I read it in a week, and that's good for me. You know,
It's reading really quick.
Yeah.
It's 450 pages, or maybe my copy. I don't know.
Where's the 200 pages at?
I am fortunate that this has larger print.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
I was actually looking for one of the old black cover with the girls off face and little blood dripping out, and they're too expensive.
Yeah, good stuff. You guys are in for a treat with that one.
Hey,
I can see Olive's still there. Olive is still there.
Yeah, still there.
Hey, Olive.
This is the one I got. I got this in the wild too. I get everything in the wild. This is the version that I have.
Ooh,
That's cool.
that is very cool.
That's like a coffee table book. That's cool.
Yeah.
But this one is how many pages is this? This one's 400 pages.
Yeah, but they're bigger pages.
Yeah, they're long pages.
Mhm.
All right, let's see.
If you're in the mood.
I'm such a slow reader. I usually do like all Halloween themed books in October, and like I've done that for a few years now, and that's gonna like totally get killed this October. Between this, I was reading the Manitou, and I got to read the occult stuff, and now you're trying to get me to read Salem's Lot.
But that's not Halloween.
It's Halloweenish.
You know, I mean, that's a classic Halloween character.
I mean, it's horror. It's not really Halloween, right?
But that's not a spoiler, is it? If we tell him what it's about, do you know what it's about, Dave?
Okay, Can I say it's okay to say online here?
Sure.
It's a vampire, right?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I did not know. I read it in the 80s.
What'd you say?
I did not know when I was reading it the first time in the 80s. You know, I was a dumb kid. I was like 14 or something like that. I picked up this book and like,
But let me just get my copy.
Vampire.
It says idyllic New England town. Which town is that? I wonder if that's. Is it a fake one?
Well, Dave, the
Jerusalem.
name of the town is Salem's Lot.
Oh, that's the name of the town. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't realize that's what that was a reference to.
Yeah. All right.
If this doesn't scream it out to you, then nothing else.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I mean that
Congress has a haunted house on it. I think.
that doesn't need anything for the imagination.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah.
That's it.
So I hardly think it's a spoiler saying it's a vampire.
At this point, it's not really a spoiler.
Yeah.
Oh, Leslie says she watched that's Salem's Lot.
Yeah, hold on.
The new one?
Yeah.
I'll hear Steve talking about North American versions of Jack Higgins, where flashlight as flash
Yep.
in the UK because it's a torch. You know, when you get a UK book about and in the US version is a SIG.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know someone's throwing a conniption fit.
Yeah.
I watched the new Salem's Lot last night.
How's it, Leslie? Hi, Leslie.
It was a good little horror movie if you pretend you haven't seen the original miniseries or read the book.
Okay. Maybe I'll make my husband watch it. Because he'll watch. He's not much into fiction. First of all, he doesn't like to read fiction at all. So when it comes to like horror movies, we're in October. He might be up for it. We'll see. If not, it'll just be me and the dog.
Watson will watch everything, right?
Yes, he will.
For me, this book is all about slow burn, building the characters, building the town.
Yeah.
And I heard that, so I'm not going to say anything about the movie. But
this will be next. But again, I'm digging the slower pace of these older books. I'm just
Until you hit that point, and then like I was super aware, and I'm like, we're ramping this up now. Things are happening left and right. You know, It really takes off, and Stephen King does a really good job of that. He did that in Pet Cemetery as well.
Also, Needful Things. Needful Things. The way that he builds up this town and the characters, and you just know it's going to take off.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say if you haven't read it, but yeah, it's just so good at building up and yeah.
He just hits the gas pedal.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, you have a lot to think about.
Yeah.
No, like I have Devils of D-Day on my Kindle already. I have Ritual on my Kindle. And now there's all these other Graham Mastermans also available on Kindle Unlimited. So
the Ritual is the one book that Anita
threw away.
I told you.
Oh,
the one with self-cannibalism. She said she got to a point with the self-cannibalism, and she literally, that's the only book she's ever just thrown in the trash. She says, I just can't anymore. It was just that bad.
Well, don't throw away the original Feast. It's another step back cover called Feast. I wish I had it, where you just peel it back and there's a boy in a cauldron, And that one is worth, again, $40-$50. Now the newer Ritual one, I don't think is a valuable paperback. I think that's just a normal paperback. But I like it. That it was my favorite Graham Masterton book up to the last chapter.
No, I think my wife said towards the end.
The last chapter just took away that title?
No, he did something in that chapter which just he sort of broke my suspension of disbelief, saying, no, that just does not work.
Okay. It just didn't jive with you.
It did. Now some people have, like I said, a much higher tolerance for like certain supernatural acts. You're like, oh, that can happen, sure. Like, I know there's something in this book, I'm pretty sure, that's gonna irk me. And if that scene's still in the book, it's gonna irk me, but I'll try to look over that.
No, I can't remember anything. I don't think so. You remember anything?
I believe it's Danny's looking out his window.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the second story.
That's the one that traumatized all of us Gen X kids when we were little.
Don't tell Dave. Don't tell Dave.
No, we won't. We'll hold that for the end of this month.
Yes, vampires can do that. Yes, they can. Frank Langella, he did it.
All right. Any last words about the Manitou?
No, everybody should read it.
It's again, you can have to go digital for Manitou.
Yeah.
Just because
it's just for Harry. Just for Harry. Read it for Harry.
Do it for Harry. Indeed. Do it for Harry.
It's goofy, silly fun, but it's fun.
Well, now, wouldn't it be fun to live in the 70s New York and be Harry and bilking old ladies of wearing your green forest outfit or whatever?
And putting a tarot cards out on the table and turning the tarot cards.
Waiting for an old lady's husband to die. Yep.
I wish Alan had read the book because he does tarot, and he would have said something about the tarot cards, like he got it all wrong. All right.
Very fun.
It was.
That was lekker. Sorry, that's a South Africanism. Lekker.
Lekker
Means it was very, very good.
Okay.
All right.
Lekker.
Well, everyone, Cliff, Dave, MJ, I'm glad you showed up, made this an event. Anyone is still in the chat room. Like to have you here. And I guess no final words.
Yeah. MJ, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll have to remember to try to check it out tomorrow morning. All right, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Bye. Happy reading. See you next month.